So we should have like a steering group or a think tank, sort of the project management for this whole thing that coordinates, leverages ideas from the community, from us and beyond, and has this dialogue and exchange with both school, teachers, and the community. And then we should have some of us focusing on precisely the pact, what to write into it, how specific to be, to include those instruments of age restrictions, certain apps and stuff like that, and to also focus on the distribution of the same and the selling it to our fellow parents. And then I was thinking we also need a couple of us taking care of the platform or the infrastructure for this whole thing. And this is, Daniela, some of the points that you mentioned could go into this group. So how about setting up and maintaining something like a platform on the web or on the school website, a little space where we share information and exchange, right? Why not create something like a newsletter or an info meeting cadence or something like those forums for parents and children, these workshops that you mentioned. Those are the things that could go in here, and we could develop those further to engage people in a way that is relevant to them. So I brought some sign-up sheets that I will pass on out after this, and you could sign on for the groups, or we could just say, just so few people, let's reconvene and let's work on all those work streams all together. Any opinions on that? It's been, after what we've heard, to foster a responsible use of devices and social media for our children by advocating for healthy screen time and against peer pressure, by parents advising other parents on the tricks to monitor, limit screen time, to kind of manage the desire, and to also maybe share some hacks on how to achieve all that. And then, of course, directional alignment in the spirit of togetherness and awareness whilst respecting individual decisions. And the mission proposal would be offering interested parents a forum for alignment and information, and to call this bluff of, but everybody else does it, and everybody else has it. Yeah, and I don't know, let's pause for a moment and let's get some voices from your end, whether you feel that this is the right track to be.
Really explicit suggestions on what do you do, what can you do, what can you not do. I was of course more focused on this because this is the primary age range, but then we have teens too. If they have a phone, it belongs to you. You are paying the bill. So therefore, you can look at it anytime you like. If they take away this, it's my phone, you can't have it, you can't see it. If it's paid for by you, and the monthly bill is paid for by you, you can say, I own this phone, and you are using it. Therefore, anytime I want to look at it, I'm going to look at it. Social media, deciding what they can and can't have on their phone. And again, she recommends following the age restrictions. That's pretty tough, I think, with WhatsApp. That's the hardest one because we do use, lots of kids use WhatsApp to either communicate with friends in a positive way or particularly communicate with family. You might have family groups where they're messaging. That's a big one to look at and to think, if you're going to say no WhatsApp, that's one way, or you monitor it very, very carefully. To look through the feed and check on the conversations and tell them they have to leave any groups where the chat becomes negative or destructive. Don't make it about the phone, so you have to try and de-emphasize the preciousness of this magical thing that they have. So if there's a punishment, try not to say, I'm going to take your phone away, because that just makes it even more and more valuable. So be careful to not make this the most valuable thing in the world. Having honest conversations, things that they've seen. If they say, oh, I heard that, they see some stuff on TikTok, like, I heard that you can use Coca-Cola to help you sleep, something ridiculous like that. Then have the conversation. Don't just say, oh, that's a load of rubbish. Where did you hear that? That's a load of rubbish. Have the conversation. Do you think that's true? Where did you read that? Is that a valid source of information? Have you seen it anywhere else? What do they tell you to do? We talk about triangulation at school. Find information from 3 different sources. Could you triangulate that? You know, is it really something that you believe is true? Yeah. So have conversations, especially invite conversations around social media. If there's something going on WhatsApp, somebody said something that upset you? What did they say? Okay, have they said anything else like that? Do you want to come out of the chat? Should we speak to your teacher? You know, have those conversations. And this is a big one, and why you're having this meeting now is holding your nerve. That if you say your screen time is an hour, and it's like, oh, can I just have 10 more minutes? Oh, it's the weekend, can I have an hour and a half? No, that's the rule. If you have to hold your nerve. Or, my friends have got Snapchat, can I have Snapchat? I won't be able to go to that party at the weekend if I don't have Snapchat, because that's the only way they're talking about it. I must have Snapchat. No, you hold your nerve. We are not having Snapchat, those are the rules in this house. If your friends have it, fine, that's their rules, but these are our rules. And the more people that have the same rules, the more empowering it is. And that's kind of the idea with this. If you can have an initiative as a group of parents, then there's not so much power in this. But all my friends have it. Like, no, they don't, because I know that these 4 families have the same rules as we do. So, yeah, the teams thing, it gets even more about having real, honest conversations. You know, it's there, and you need to have those conversations about watching out for changing emotions, really talking about where are you getting all this information from? Are you looking at different sources, etc. And letting them know. Teenagers hate to be, what's the word, kind of cajoled, patronized. So when they find out that tech companies are using certain strategies to keep them online or to make them look at things, that really annoys them. Because they don't like to be, forced to do something they don't want to do. They like to be in control. So when you show them, you know what, you've just been, cajoled into doing this by that app. What? Show them what's the app just done to make them watch the next show or to make them scroll on. And that really annoys teenagers because they are the center of the world. They know everything. So if you show them actually they don't know everything, it really annoys them. Yeah, final one, just delay as much as possible the use of social media, let them get experience with kind of socialization as much as they can, so till 13 if possible. Don't make the phone the center of the universe, and discuss as much as possible, have open conversations. So final 3 Ds of advice. And I've gone way over. Some things are more appropriate than others, especially around things like Netflix. Movie content, there's a reason why there are ratings on movies, because there's stuff on there that a 10-year-old can't comprehend. And if they can't comprehend it, it scares them. They might not say it scares them, but it will, because they don't understand what's actually going on. And then, of course, the relationships. What are you saying? Who can they connect with online? Who are they communicating with? It might be fine to WhatsApp grandparents, but is it fine to WhatsApp somebody that they met online, playing a game? Who do they play with online? You can set boundaries for kids to play with just friends who they've invited, or you can have the privacy things completely off, and then they can play and chat with anyone who's online at that time. And there's a lot of people who will take advantage of this. So setting boundaries is very important. These are just some examples of the age restrictions. In WhatsApp, it's 16 plus. And you see, you can just keep going and going and going and going, and it doesn't have to reload. That's all sorts of things that just keep you online. The fake news was a big one. 70% of adults are confident, but only 20% could actually spot what was fake news. 75% of course, teenagers, they're all confident in everything, but only 10% of them could actually spot what fake news was. So there's this danger of getting fed disinformation. So what do you do about it? These were her suggestions. The age ratings are really important. The fact that all social media is pretty much 13 or older, and that's for a reason. The biggest issue we run into in primary is that the kids start a WhatsApp group with the best intentions to kind of connect over the weekend or to meet up or share what's for homework. But then something happens where there's a negative comment or somebody says something about someone else or someone deletes someone from the group, and then it spirals down into a very negative experience for the kids. So it can actually be very powerful and strong and positive. But then they haven't got the maturity yet or the experience to know what small actions could then become spiraling into negativity and really upset some people who are either commented about or removed, or or even somebody made a comment about a friend of theirs or whatever. So the age limits are important, and it's generally 13 plus. Actually, YouTube is 18, which is shocking to most people. But if you think about what you can see on YouTube, or what you can, you can find anything you like on there. All sorts of content of what people are saying. It's not really monitored particularly thoroughly, the content of what is being said. Time limits. I think this is quite well known that there should be a limited amount of time where kids can be using their digital devices, whatever that might be, whether that's TV time, game time, phone time, whatever that might be. She was reticent to say how much that should be, but she basically said kind of not much more than 2 to 4 hours a day. I thought that was quite a lot, actually. But there was basically a kind of, she showed an interesting graph, and again about kind of productivity and the benefits of digital world, especially gaming. That actually gaming does have quite a positive effect in terms of reaction, thinking, yada yada yada, until you get to 2 hours, and then it starts to have a negative effect. Being fatigue, irritability, this type of thing. So it's definitely with gaming, 2 hours was the kind of, it went up in terms of benefits, and then it hit 2 hours and then just went straight down. So